Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hi. Welcome to Enlight Live. I'm Moore. I'm filling in for Stav this week. And you all remember Joseph.
Hello, I am the visual artist, and welcome to one more session.
For those of you who don't know, I'm the support specialist at Enlight here at Lightrix. And if you send an email to support@enlightapp.com, which you can find in the send feedback button within the app, you'll be sending me an email, and I'll respond to you as soon as possible with any questions you have. Should we get started?
Yeah, let's get started. So this week we have a very interesting tutorial. It's actually inspired on Banksy, which is a street artist, and he has some very cool stuff. If you don't know, I hardly recommend you to really go and check him out. So we're actually gonna try to make a simulation of what will be graffiti on the street, and it could be also for fun. And also, if you're actually a street artist, I thought that this could be very useful for you as a tool, so that you can actually, before you go and do it actually on the wall, you could actually visualize how your artwork will look like before. So remember, if you have any questions, and just write us, and remember to share and also like us. So now let's get started. So as you can see, here is the graffiti that I made. This is Frida Kahlo, and this is one of her famous quotes: "I don't paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality." Yes.
Very deep.
Indeed.
Don't forget to ask us any of your questions in the comments. I'll be answering while Joseph is tutorializing.
I will be.
Hi, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Stephanie.
Steph.
He says we look good.
All right, thank you. We know. All right, so I'm gonna show you. First of all, you're gonna need two pictures. One of a wall. It can be any kind of wall, and I will suggest you, just for beginning, maybe like a smooth wall and not too much rough texture on it. So I choose this one, and it's gonna work fine just for this case. And the portrait or image or anything that you can think of that you would like to make on the graffiti. So in this case, I choose this imitation of Frida Kahlo. And basically what you want with this kind of picture is to have a very clear edge and not too much of a complicated background, so you can easily detach the subject from the background, okay?
And it doesn't have to be a person, right? It could be
a cat or a bird or whatever that you could think of. It could be anything.
Cool.
Just get creative. That's up to you.
Right.
So
we just want to say hi to Poppy and Mel Panda. Thanks for the compliment on the scarf.
nice scarf, actually.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. All right.
Don't forget to ask questions while we're doing the tutorial.
Yes, that's what we're here for. So let's go and do our first step. Let's go to artistic, and we'll go to urban on the picture of the subject or person or cat or whatever you choose. Now we're gonna stay in the first preset, and since we're here already, just to show you that we have many cool presets that you can choose just for the future, just for the record. But in this case, we're gonna stay in the neutral, and we're gonna go to tools and color. Okay. So basically, this is the tricky part of the whole tutorial. Basically, you want to keep the shape of the character. So you want to have the edges of the character, right? So for example, in here, I already lost, because it's a high contrast picture, which means it has a lot of shadow, a lot of black on it. So I already lost all these areas here that you can see. If I tap the compare button, you will see that all the areas of the neck and the back and the head already lost, and I want to have those back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap on the brush 2 in this case, which is the white, and I'm gonna be uh, just painting around the areas that I want to recover those details like this.
Teresa is asking if there's a photo with too much shadow. Should we be careful with choosing a photo like that for this? Or is what we're doing now helping?
In this case, actually, I choose a pretty dark picture for this kind of thing. It's actually kind of dark. But if you really like that picture, you can do this, what I'm doing right now, and it should be fine. But if it's really too dark, it might be hard, so you might want to choose a lighter one. It depends on the picture, but at least you need to have enough details with the light, enough at least to see the face and hands or whatever it is. So we'll just keep adding more and more white on those areas, and you can get help by the compare button to see where you're going. And you see that in the hair you still have all those details. The idea is to have clear edges, and you'll see why in the next step. So be patient. Yes, all this area, you can see it doesn't matter if it's not accurate, just as long as you have like the basic shape, at least the face and all the main features of the character, that will be enough. Here, for example, I already lost in here. I saw that I already lost, so I'm gonna add in color 1, I'm gonna add a little bit more of black.
You see, Joseph is using the compare button a lot, and that really helps him find the points that he wants to adjust, and he's also zooming in, so that's also really helpful for precision. Sometimes people are like, my finger's too big. So this way you can really fix that, and you can really get precise with the brushes.
Sometimes that happens. So zooming in and out, it's gonna help you a lot to get the work done. So I'm not gonna get much into detail. It's just to show you, but you might want to spend more time on this until you get it right, until you get the right shape. And I'm gonna just go over and I'm gonna tap the check mark. For now, it's good enough. So, do we have any comments?
No questions yet. Ask us all of your questions. We're here to answer them.
All right. Basically, now I'm gonna add this picture to my wall. So I'm gonna go to my wall, and I'm gonna tap the menu. I'm gonna go to Tools and Mixer. Now we're gonna add this lady, well, we just did, and we're gonna place it somewhere. And by the way, if you're choosing just for this case, since we're doing this for the first time, I will recommend you to use a wall that is actually on a flat perspective. Like this wall will be like this, I don't know, like this. And not like on a perspective or like you can see the depth or anything. Just let's use some flat walls to begin, and then later on we can get into more complex kind of perspectives. I'll talk about that later. So now we're gonna start erasing all the areas that are around our shape, around this lady. And now that we have the clear edges, now we can see actually where do we have to erase. So now let's go to Tools and let's tap Erase. Let's zoom in a little bit, and basically we're gonna start erasing all these white areas.
Dara likes the mug, the Enlight mug. Where is it? Here.
It's a real mug.
He wants to know where you can get one. It's in our office.
If you can get here, then.
Enjoy your tea.
All right, there you go.
If you have any questions about what Joseph is doing, ask away. We're here to answer all of your questions. Or even just say hi.
That's also an option.
Tell us where you're from.
And And also there might be a lot of people out there that would like to know how to do this kind of stuff, so you could share it, so you can share the love and you can share creativity with your friends, people.
Yeah. Oh, good. Michael Connor said you just answered his question he was going to ask about the walls and being on an angle.
That's because I think about the users. I actually...
You have a sixth sense.
Yeah, I have a sixth sense, exactly.
Thanks for joining, Michael. Let us know if you have any other questions before Joseph gets to it on his own.
Yeah, so hurry up. All right. So there are some areas that if you forgot to make them on the urban step, you can just improvise. For example, here in the shoulder, I don't know exactly what is the shape, but it's okay. I mean, you can kind of figure out what the shape of a shoulder is. Just like that. That should be fine. But as you can see, this is why it's so important for us to do this before. Because imagine what would happen if we wouldn't have these edges. Then we wouldn't know where we should be erasing. Right? Actually, that's a very ugly shoulder, so I'm going to make it smaller.
It's not exactly realistic, right? Jake Young wants to know if the texture of the wall matters or the design in terms of blending.
Well,
with this particular tutorial.
I mean, you can use any wall, but if you wanted to make it look real, at least at the beginning, let's begin with the more smooth or flat kind of wall, and then later on, I mean, you can experiment and then try. First, let's try to get this right, and then if you want to go into more complex walls, you can also do it, and you can start also experimenting with different kind of blending modes. But in this case, for example, we're gonna go to blending mode, and we're gonna leave it in the normal, but we're gonna lower a little bit the opacity, just a little bit. Let's say 280. But once you have all kinds of walls and textures, you can just go and try different kind of blending modes and see what works best in order to make it look more realistic. But since we have a very flatty wall texture, actually it could work with the normal blending mode. So that's basically it.
And Joe says, hi Joe. He said every time you get so close, he tries to get so close, it fades out the area that he wants to go. So
fades out.
Well, really, when you zoom in, you could really zoom in all the way to the pixel level. Is that what you're talking about? That actually really helps with precision. So if you know where the different, where exactly the edge is, you know exactly where to erase. Is that what you're talking about, Joey? I hope we answered your question. Let us know.
It might be also related to the resolution of the picture. So if it's a very low resolution and you get very close, you very quickly you'll see the pixels, and then it will be kind of hard to work on it. So try to also choose a high resolution picture from the beginning, which means that they're at least above 1 megabyte, for example, and that if you make zoom, you see actually a lot of details.
That's a good point about the resolution of the image.
Yeah.
That happens also sometimes when someone uses a low resolution image on the background, and then they use Mixer and add another one on top, so then they notice that the top picture takes on the resolution of the lower resolution image. So that could also affect it.
Yeah.
So it's a good point to use the higher quality photos.
True story. All right, now let's tap the check mark, and we're down in this stage. Now, it looks pretty cool, but we're missing some color. So now let's add some color to our lady. Let's go to filters, and let's go to duo.
While you're doing that, Michael said he uploaded his attempt on Facebook and Instagram. We're so glad that you do that. We all look at it. And if you hashtag Enlight at Enlight app, you get a chance to be featured by us.
Yeah.
So definitely upload your pictures. We all look at it. Me, Stav, Joseph, everyone. We love it. Good. Joe said that it helped. Awesome.
Yeah, great.
Hi, Ash from Australia.
Hello. All right, now we're gonna go to Tools tab, and we're gonna start. We're gonna tap Position so that we can see actually our colors. And let's choose any color. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna choose some kind of pinkish color, and I'm gonna choose both colors because I don't really want to have the gradient effect. I just want to have a flat color, and I'm gonna go to blending mode, and I'm gonna tap multiply. And now I'm gonna go to mask, and I'm gonna remove the whole effect from the whole picture by tapping clear, as I just did. And we're gonna zoom in where we want to add the color, and I'm gonna start applying my color over the area that I just want to see the color. For example, this flower on her head, or whatever it is she has. Just like that.
A lot of people ask after they use a color filter that it takes up the whole picture, and then they have to erase most of the picture just to get the filter in one spot. So if you press clear in mask, then you can just add the filter or the color where you want it. So a lot of people don't know that, so it's good that we put those in our tutorials.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easier. Like depending on how much color, if you want most of the picture to be colored, so you don't have to do it, you could tap the fill, and then you can have the whole picture. And if you tap clear, then you'll have just out of it, and then you'll wait. I'm gonna go back. That's it. So depending on what you really want to do.
Right.
All right.
Panda wants to know where we get our pictures from. So I know that Stav and you talk about it every week. There are a lot of websites you can go to for free stock photos that have pretty high quality, like unsplash.com.
And also Pixel,
and
Pexel.
Pexel, yeah.
And there are a few others. Actually, we could
We'll
comment.
write it in and
We'll write it down. Yeah, it's actually very helpful. They're very high resolution pictures, and they're free for usage, so it's very good.
Experiment.
There's a lot of actually free stock websites you can use. That shouldn't be a problem. All right, I think I'm done here, and let's stop the check mark. Now, what else? Now I'm gonna add some quotes, of course.
Of course, something very inspirational.
Yeah, let's go to text and type. And we're gonna long press to edit. So, just as we said,
something deep and inspirational.
I'm gonna try to remember what she said actually. I don't paint dreams, and I'm gonna tap intro to go to the next line. I'm gonna break the line. No, that's not the button. Wait. All right, intro, and I'm gonna keep writing. Or and if you don't want to have the high cap, you just remember to make it low cap. Or nightmares, and then I paint.
Or you have to capitalize that I.
That's right. Thank you. I paint.
But don't worry, even after you press done, if you notice a spelling mistake or something like that, you can always go back. Maybe we should show that one.
Yeah.
When we said it.
My own reality. Check my spelling.
Great.
Cool. A plus. And let's stop done. If you want it to be, by the way, if you want it to be left or right justification or central. I like to have it centered. So let's tap done. And I'm gonna change my color, as you can see. And if you see that it's not, you can just long press again and you can go back and edit it.
So if you made a mistake, if you don't like the spacing, you wanted to add an extra line,
Yeah.
you can long press. You'll notice that around the text is a blue border, and that's when you know that you can edit that text again.
So let's change the color. Let's go to Tools tab and then let's go color, black, and actually let's tap again the color and we're gonna place it somewhere here. But I kind of don't like the spacing between the lines, so I'm gonna change it. Let's go to spacing and let's go to lines. And I'm gonna swipe to the left a little bit to lower the space. And actually, let's go back to fonts. I'm gonna look for a different font because this one is kind of too small. So actually, you can check these fonts. We have a lot of fonts.
We just actually recently, not too long ago, added some new fonts.
Yes, in
I
case
think
you
they're the
haven't
first
seen.
4.
This one and these and these and these. And I think I'm gonna go with something like this. This looks good. Let's place it somewhere on her neck. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit more spacing. And I
See
think
in
we're
Tools
gonna-
tab, there's an option to space also from top to bottom, but also
Yeah. Also
the
characters. You can go and make it wider, smaller. And if you long press, let's say you did characters like this and then you want it back to 0, you just long press on the character and it go back to 0. And that's true for everything that you do in every tool. You long press and it should actually go
revert
back
back to original.
all right, that's basically about it. Now let's tap the check mark. We're getting close to the end. Now let's add some filter just to make it all look more cool. And let's do, and by the way, you can just check all these cool presets and you can use one of them. They're very cool.
Yeah, Stephanie said she didn't know about that long press, so it's good that we do these tutorials.
Yeah. What would they do if we're not here to explain these little things?
And ask us your questions, and maybe you have a suggestion. You don't know that the app can already do that. So let us know, and we'll tell you.
Yeah. And it's all about details. All right, I'm gonna make my own preset, just some structure, saturation, and a little bit more contrast to make it more dramatic. You can see. And let's go back to tools. Let's add some fade, a little bit of grain, a little bit of intensity.
These are all things you can experiment with. I know you're doing it fast, but these are things that you just experiment with and look at your image and see if this is what looks good.
Yeah.
It's all your creative
And
juices
then
flowing.
maybe some vignette, a little bit of vignette, wouldn't hurt. And maybe let's get rid of a little bit of vignette. And let's tap and see and let's compare. And I think it looks good. Actually, we got more of that texture from the wall and it's good. It added more color. I think it looks great. Let's tap the check mark and that's about it. This is how you do a graffiti wall, Banksy style. And now let's share it to the world. Now let's go to the top menu. Let's tap the share icon and let's go to Instagram. Copy to Instagram. And we're gonna leave it maybe like this.
Let us know if you have any more questions before we go, and if we don't get to it now, we'll respond afterwards.
Definitely. And let's write something cool like create a cool graffiti art on your iPhone. Hashtag Enlight app. of course.
Of course.
And there we go.
All right.
There you go.
There we have it.
All right, and since we're here, I just want to remind you, we have here tons of cool stuff that are made by our users and also by us. All the tutorials are here in our Instagram feed, so you can follow us and
share and like.
Be a part and be a part of the community. Yes.
And if you have any questions, you can email us here. You can comment here or email us at support@enlight.com. Before we go, Gabe Rodriguez asked, how often do we do live tutorials?
Actually, every week.
Once a week. We try every Wednesday. We try to go over the tutorial that we put up on Tuesday. Every Tuesday, there's a tutorial Tuesday. I'm saying Tuesday a lot.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
That's because it's a very important word in this case.
Tutorial Tuesday, we put up a new tutorial every week, and then we go over it on Wednesday live. So join us every week. And if you go into our Facebook page and under follow, you'll see that you can get notifications every single time we do a live. And this way you'll know to join us.
Join us. All right. So that's it. And thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Great. Have a good one.
Bye.